Rick, yeah, man, I just finished spin, man. I'm feeling great. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great too. I didn't do spin today, but I did my nice hike, so I'm in good shape.
Awesome. You always are, man. So I thought we titled this podcast, Give the Mind a Job It Can Actually Do. So this is inspired by, it was chapter 10 of Untethered Soul. And the author, Michael Singer, says that we give our mind this impossible task, which is from early on when we, kind of know what's going on as children. We give the mind to make life absolutely perfect for us. We want everything that we do or say to be liked by everyone else. We want to make sure that the mind does things that brings us praise and adulation. We want it to make sure nothing in the world goes wrong, nothing ever changes, and that life goes perfectly to our liking. And that includes like how we dress to show up for other people, any jobs or any goals we go after, nothing goes wrong. We achieve everything. And we want life to make us happy. And so this is the job description we give to the mind, and we say, now go make it happen. so which is an impossible job to do.
Right.
And in the mind, and then we finally tell the mind, now here's your job, and we want you to work on it 24 hours a day. Don't let anything get in your way. So no wonder you're not sleeping at night, because you're sitting there trying to solve problems at night. I know that was me, obsessive thinking, anxiety about how the next day would go, being totally ruminating on things that didn't go well, what somebody said, somebody didn't like me, or how I messed up. I mean, the mind's working 24/7 trying to right all those wrongs or things that's gone wrong. And so it's just an impossible job. And with the practice, what I've learned to do was to give the mind a job it could actually do. And the job was, I just want you to do this practice 10 minutes a day so that I can have peace the rest of the day. And then when I need you, which is to do simple tasks, you know what I want you to do? Go book an airline ticket for that trip next week. Go do that. I want you to set the alarm clock and pack your lunch for a healthy lunch tomorrow morning. I want you to take things to where if there's a big problem, I need you to make sure that we're on time to get the practices in the morning so that you're peaceful, so when I need you to be creative, you are free of stress, free of worry, free of judgment, free of obsessive thinking, so that we can channel your energy in an efficient way to handle this situation. That's what I need you to do. And since I've given my mind that task, it is so thankful. It was exhausted before, Rick. I was just wearing it out. And now I'm so peaceful. My mind is more efficient. I don't waste it doing things that are outside of my control, like judging people, judging situations, resisting the reality of life. And the pandemic is certainly giving us that opportunity to accept what is. And Rick, I have so much more peace right now. So when you think about that, give the mind a problem it can actually do and solve, what are your thoughts?
Well, the first thing is I strongly believe that we in the West have an ability to make mountains out of molehills. And partly it's because the mind is always working on alternative things for you to do. And yes. All of the shoulds that pack into the things you should do come up, and those are almost impossible. So I guess my first reaction is it's not surprising that people have a hard time shutting down their minds, because in the West, the mind is really what we identify as our chief characteristics. We think we are what we think. And actually we are what we think, because what you experience most is what really is you. On the other hand, the mind is really just nothing more than a tool. In the East, they have a little different view of it. The East, the mind is sort of the idea that it's what is a problem is created or doubly impacted by how much you think and ruminate and do the monkey mind, all of this stuff. And that's controllable by you. In the West, we don't think it's controllable. We think that's just the normal way we are. Everybody just always is off in Never Land thinking about whatever. But in the East, the idea is the monkey mind is your enemy. You need to stop that because it's causing you pain. And the way you stop it is through meditation and through recognizing that you are the thinker behind the thought, or the heart behind the thought, or the entity behind the thought. So in other words, it's de-emphasizing the power of the computer brain, which is powerful, no doubt about it. It's de-emphasizing that and saying, okay, there's a lot of different things that you can do, a lot of different hacks in life. One hack is to go with your heart. One hack is to overthink. Another hack is to do nothing and let you enjoy the peace of just being yourself without any of your systems engaged. That's what meditation is. Your meditation is designed to get you into the gap between your thoughts. So I guess my first reaction is, I think that the mind is a wonderful tool, and it takes years and years and years of practice to put it in its place. And especially if you're dealing in a cerebral profession, if you're a doc, or you're a lawyer, or you're an accountant, or you're dealing with something where the mind is it, that message may never get through to you. But you'll always have a problem with being frenetic and having sleeplessness and judging and all the rest unless you get a handle on it.
Yeah, exactly. And you see it with people, and I used to be this way too, you take work home, you take problems home. Like, I mean, and an example would be like here in the pandemic, we're having this discussion about masking, not masking, vaccines, not vaccines, all this stuff. With whatever side you fall under, that's your choice. But my point is that you have that kind of conversation out in the world if you're having that conversation. But when you come home, there's no need for a mask or vaccine. You know what I'm saying? So why is that conversation coming into your home? You're bringing what's out there into your space. And then the mind is working on that because you got the television on, you watching the news about it, you're talking to anybody who's in earshot about it. If you live alone, you're calling somebody talking about it. And if there's no one to talk about, you're talking about how this is awful and like it doesn't stop. Like you give this mind this impossible job. Like, resist this, whether it's resist masking or not masking, resist vaccine or not vaccine. Like it's just like you give him this job. Yeah. And that's not his job. Like you said, it's a computer. It's an incredible computer.
That's right.
But you can program it to run a different kind of code.
That's so true, Keith.
Yeah, and exactly here's the code I want you to do. When it comes time for a practical application of how you can help me serve more effectively and efficiently with compassion, with kindness, with a spirit of gratitude and community, I want you to do that job. And that's going to be easy because you're going to be inspired by my practice, by the practice that I use, not my practice, but the practice. And I've given it that job, Rick. The stuff that used to take me forever to do is effortless now because I've given it a single job to do and not to work out all these contingency plans and what if this happened and that doesn't happen. This is your job. And if something doesn't happen, we'll deal with it then by accepting and being peaceful. It's so easy, man. I used to get on flights to go places and I'm thinking about if the flight is late, like I got any control over the flight being on time or not, but I'm worried about it. If I miss this connecting flight, what am I going to do? And then once I get to where I'm going, then I'm thinking about, okay, what's the hotel going to be like? I know I reserved this room. It doesn't stop. I've seen people right now, a lot of our friends have done a lot of home renovations. And they've assigned so much attachment to the home. And a home renovation, if that's what you want to do, I think it's fantastic. But they've assigned so much attachment to it that once the like as if it's going to make you happy. No, it's just something to enjoy. Don't put a lot of stock or value into it. It's just a place, it's things. At least that's my approach.
That's right.
But as soon as that house is complete or that renovation or kitchen, how long after that's complete, Rick, do you think the mind starts going, well, I think we should do the garage. Maybe we'll epoxy the garage floor and maybe we'll do something to the backyard. It's you given this job to look for the next thing. that's
That's
going
right.
to make you happy, that's going to fulfill you. It's not out there.
Mhm.
It's here in this moment right now. Just make this moment beautiful. Just appreciate the beauty here.
So
And
true.
so I've started to give my mind, problems or jobs that it can actually do. And it's beautiful.
It's evolutionary, though. We can't beat ourselves up about it. Partly the mind became such a power for us because it saved us. It
Oh,
saves, it saves
100%.
our lives. And everybody's heard this, but it's true. And I think that we forget that the mind is designed to get you out of scrapes. And so the more things it can foresee and the more things it can anticipate and the more things it can make contingency plans for, the safer you'll be.
Safer you'll feel. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking now if we're back 10,000 years
Oh,
ago,
yes, yes.
then it was effective. But what they did, I think, 10,000 years ago that we don't do now is because the stimulants were so few, they only had a few things to think about. They didn't have the engagement of the mind that we have now. You literally are bombarded from the moment you wake up till the moment your head hits the pillow with information. And it's whether it's your job or you're just a human being walking around the planet and you happen to have a television, you're going to see information all day long. Same thing with your computer. So the point is, the difference between a Neanderthal dude and us has to do with stimulus. And I guess the mind is really great at working out things, but you have to be able to control it. All I'm arguing for is that the awareness that your mind makes things up. And because this is an evolutionary process, it's always going to make things up. And you have to be the one to decide whether you can live with that or not. And I think that once you decide that the mind has a different occupation or should be programmed differently to solve problems instead of making them up, you're going to have suffering. And I guess that's, meditation really brings you out of this. It's very difficult to explain the effect of meditation. And it truly allows you to center and get past all of this. And I guess one other thing I would say about giving the mind a project that it can handle, turn off your electronics, please. Get rid of your computers, get rid of everything that you rely on. Use it for the time that you need to use it for. But if you continue to the social media and all of the algorithms that put you in a high state of stress because they want you to have ideas that rile you up and then you have to respond to them, and I've got an opinion. I'm telling you, that's a rabbit hole from which there is no escape, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse, I'm afraid, unless we have some people who decide that they want to be a little different in life and have a different view of things.
Yeah, I totally agree, Rick. And so I gave my mind, in addition to helping me be, I guess, more effective and efficient with like my occupation, I gave it a different job. And my job was, okay, we are committed to being kind. Now here's a practical application for that. Anytime that you greet somebody, take time to say good morning, to really focus and see the person, not be like on your way to somebody. Somebody sends you an email or they send you a note. Take the time to say hello, ask them how they're doing. Like really, I just need you to take these little steps so that we can bring our consciousness to this moment and we can open. I want us to open our heart. And so I gave my mind these practical things and steps to do that help me with that. I want you to, when we put on our shoes to go work out, I want you to take your time. We need to take our time putting them on to really feel our body going into the sneakers, to practice gratitude and not just rushing out the door to get 6 miles in before I got to get to work, but to really just slow down so that we can hear the birds. We can see the sunrise. I mean, really see it. Like I gave my mind things like that to do so that my being was free of the clutter of thinking about, I wonder what the weather is going to be like. I wonder if I can beat my record last time, what I was doing. That's our goal. Like giving it all these jobs to do, I gave it a simpler task to do. And by doing that, when I get to like applying the mind in a really targeted, focused way to a task that's maybe job related or project related, I found that it's much more effective and efficient because it hasn't been exhausted from all of the obsessive thinking, the anxiety, and the ruminations that normally come with it trying to make life perfect for me. Like I was like, no, perfection is an illusion. So I'm taking that job away from you. I apologize for giving it to you in the past. So that's my bad. But now let's give you a job that you can actually do, which is help me be more peaceful, to help me cultivate a greater sense of gratitude and expanding my capacity to be compassionate and to serve. And Rick, since I gave you this job, not only has he thanked me, but we've been an incredible partner to each other.
Isn't that amazing? Wow.
Amazing.
Wow. Good for you, Keith. Well, congratulations on that. I learn everything. I learn new things every show we do. So I really appreciate this. This is a good one. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. I love you.
I love you too. Bye-bye now.
Bye.